we'll never solve the problem. Never, ever. It will be with us forever. There's always going to be someone homeless. But we can better manage this situation. We're doing a poor job of it right now.
Biloxi leaders and residents speaking out at a town hall meeting this week on homelessness, and I was able to moderate that. And there were a lot of different thoughts and feelings with that, but it went pretty well, and everybody kind of spoke from the heart. With us to talk about that, Biloxi Councilman Paul Tisdale, thank you. You just saw him there. And there were a lot of different feelings about it, but everybody was talking about it. And you were kind of saying before we got started, that's kind of where you got to start talking about it, get the ideas going and go from there.
Sure. Well, a lot of people showed up that wanted to speak, bear witness, if you will. And there were different points of view, different philosophies in play, and different thoughts about how we should deal with the homeless situation. So you need to listen to everybody, and that pretty much took up literally all the time for that town hall meeting.
So in the meeting, you proposed a centralized homeless resource center with a temporary shelter. It's something that we've talked about for a number of years, that Biloxi doesn't have a place really to offer assistance, a dedicated place. So how realistic is it that we can come up with some place like this?
Well, there are a number of factors at play here. I suspect some people in Biloxi would love to have that shelter in a neighboring city,
right,
east or west of us. So, you know, who wants to get out there and lead? But I think if all the cities on the coast here in Harrison County, let's say, all had a stake in the outcome, we all have homeless. Whether we know they're there or where they are or not, we'll always have the homeless with us. But we've got to manage this better. We can keep doing what we're doing in Biloxi or other coastal cities, but then we'd still be seeing what we're seeing today.
One thing Councilman Felix Gines talked about was comparing what some other cities, the similar size of Biloxi, might be doing. I think he brought up Olympia, Washington, for example, what they're doing. Is that another thing, you know, a fact-finding mission, maybe not going in person, but kind of getting those bullet points, what they're doing, and maybe what is successful?
Yeah, well, I'm sure there are different ways to address this issue that we're all dealing with. And it's not a bad idea to look at models in other parts of the United States. It's going to be, you'll find other cities with a population the size of Biloxi, but the factors and the dynamics probably are not identical. So, you know, you take the good ideas where you find them and you incorporate them and hopefully come up with a comprehensive solution.
How much conversation is there going on with Gulfport officials, county officials over in Ocean Springs? Also, how often do you all get together and explore ideas to come up with solutions for this?
Well, I know as a council member, I might look at ordinances of other cities, but I've not conversed with any other councilmen or aldermen or women, councilwomen here along the coast. I don't know if the mayor's speaking with other mayors or not.
Is that a possibility or something you'd like to see?
Well, it's always a possibility, and as I mentioned at the town hall meeting, I think probably the best way to create a shelter or a sheltering space is going to be countywide. That's just my personal belief. There are other ways to deal with this situation, but I think that's probably going to be most cost effective if it could get off the ground.
Yeah, it seems like the only program with that where cities were talking together was the thing when someone asked for money, instead of giving them money, giving them resources and that kind of thing. I don't know what the numbers are. That's been in effect maybe about a year and a half, but that wasn't a homeless solution. It was just one of the ideas. One of the things that was brought up at the town hall, the Broadwater property, we've done stories out there, and there's no secret that there's been homeless camps really ever since Katrina. That's one of the areas, and then there was a methadone clinic or a treatment center. That's another topic a lot of people talked about, getting these people help. So those seemed like those became the two main arteries of information that people talked about and you guys talked about.
Right, it was in the Broadwater property, I mean, hundreds of acres there, heavily wooded in some spots, and I mean, it's private property. Not everybody can just walk in, but if the homeless appear there and live there, the next step would be if the property owner wanted to protect his property from those individuals, he'd file a no trespass letter with the police department, which allows them to go in and get the people off the property. So that no trespass letter, I believe, was received by the Biloxi Police Department, I'm guessing maybe 5 or 6 months ago.
Yeah,
or
and,
thereabouts.
yeah. How much issues has it created with the homeless population having to move out of that area?
Well, the homeless people migrate, and when they're moved from one area, many of them move west towards Gulfport. There are also vacant properties, small properties, acreage, and some of those are overgrown. I think it would be great if the property owners would remove a lot of that underbrush. And when a homeless camp sets up, if you see it or know it's there, call the police and make them aware, and also notify the property owner, because he or she's responsible for whatever trash, debris, garbage is there on the property.
If there ever was a shelter, treatment might be involved with some folks who may be addicted to opioids, fentanyl. We talked about that at the meeting, so that could be something as well that has to be addressed down the road, I guess, right?
Well, I think it's one of the causes of homelessness or whatever. The homeless folks typically don't have the resources we have. So yeah, drugs, veterans and those issues, mental health issues in particular. And there's some folks who just want to be homeless, no responsibility.
Yeah.
We'll still be looking for answers and an ongoing conversation. Paul, thanks for joining us this morning.
Wait, it's over?
That's
You're
it.
kidding?
Yeah.
I want 3
We're
more
just
minutes.
getting started.
We got to go. Have a great Easter, everybody.